Welcome to Buffoon of the Week. It's a show where we review last week's news and current events, looking for people who said or did something so dumb that they deserve to be nominated for our dubious distinction. You then get to choose the biggest buffoon in our poll by clicking on the eye in the top right corner of the video, or by leaving a comment voicing your opinion. Last week, Disney took home our prize for their attempt at legal trickery by tweeting out a disclaimer to Star Wars fans that using the May the 4th hashtag legally bound them to agree to various terms of use and services. Nice try, Disney, but not nice enough because our fans called you out on it. Way to stand up for the good of the galaxy, folks. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, or maybe you're already a fan, we want to let you know that we release videos every week on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to our channel. Our nominating committee really had their work cut out for them this week and found a bunch of dishonorable mentions. We are really living in one of the craziest timelines. How crazy, you ask? It's a timeline where Gary Busey is a judge on his own courtroom TV show.
Each year across the country, there are thousands of pet disputes. Those who want their cases tried by the best know there's only one man they can turn to, and he is thirsty for
pet justice. Come here, dog. Whoa. Hi, Gary. It's right.
Not convinced? It's a timeline where people forget to mute their phones during Supreme Court teleconferences while on the toilet.
And change these laws that apply to banks. And what the FCC has said is that when the subject matter of the call ranges to the topics, then the call is transformed. And it's a call that would have been allowed and it's no longer allowed.
Still not convinced? It's a timeline where stormtroopers can't even walk the streets without being harassed.
Even stormtroopers are now being arrested by Sith police officers in Justin Trudeau's draconian galactic empire are now arresting their own. Stormtroopers with blasters in Lethbridge are being detained, put on their knees, and having their nose bloodied by officers who do not care to be careful, officers who are not interested in showing compassion.
Still not convinced? How about when a sheriff's secret swinger lifestyle is exposed days after he admitted to killing a man?
Bombshell report revealing a deadly shooting involving Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney when he was a teen. The sheriff is speaking out, and so is his former chief.
Are you still not convinced? We're in a timeline where our leading media fails at basic grammar. I mean, are you kidding me? My third grade nephew can do better than this. But if you still need more proof that we are living in one of the most interesting timelines ever, then look no further than this week's nominees: Neil Ferguson and Jimmy Kimmel. In case you haven't heard of him, Neil Ferguson is an epidemiologist whose research convinced the British government to enter its ongoing strict lockdown with a focus on social distancing. It was Ferguson, a man with impeccable credentials and decades of experience fighting diseases, who shared findings that over 500,000 British citizens would die unless Prime Minister Boris Johnson implemented his plan. I mean, this is a serious guy, so why is he our first nominee? Buckle up, guys. Last week, the man dubbed Professor Lockdown resigned from his position as a government advisor after he broke his own recommended lockdown order in order to meet with his married lover. According to reports, Ferguson's paramour would leave her husband and children to travel across London to meet with Ferguson. These rendezvous occurred just after Ferguson had spent 2 weeks in self-isolation after testing positive for the coronavirus. He's even suspected of being patient zero that infected Boris Johnson and other government officials. Is that enough? I'll do you one better. These encounters continued even after Ferguson's mistress confessed to her friends that she suspected that she exposed her family to the coronavirus. And we haven't even hit the crescendo of this symphony of stupidity. Ferguson stated in an apology statement that he acted in the belief that he was immune to the coronavirus. Immune! Like he alone had the cure in him. And this is a serious epidemiologist? Nope. This was a serious epidemiologist. Like what you're seeing so far? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment as well because we read every single one of them. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Next up is our second nominee, late night host Jimmy Kimmel. Last Thursday, Kimmel's monologue went viral when he showed C-SPAN footage of Vice President Mike Pence delivering a truck of boxes filled with personal protective equipment into a healthcare facility in Virginia. Kimmel noted that Pence was wearing a microphone unknowingly when he was overheard in a hot mic moment asking about the truck's contents.
You can see here he is with no mask on, wheeling boxes of PPEs into a healthcare center and doing his best to lift them. What a hero. Just barely in the door. And since it was going so well, and also because he didn't realize he had a mic on, Magic Mike decided to keep it going. Listen in closely here. Mike Pence pretending to carry empty boxes of PPEs into a hospital is the perfect metaphor for who he is and what he's doing. A big box of nothing, delivering another box of nothing.
Wow, look at Jimmy Kimmel pouncing on Pence with all of the glee that comes with such a gotcha moment. Time to spike that football. Except it was Kimmel that got. You see, Kimmel doctored the clip by leaving out the end that shows Pence was obviously joking about the empty boxes with an associate as he closed the truck doors, leaving the empty boxes behind. Kimmel gave a half-hearted, backhanded, non-apology apology on Twitter after he got caught red-handed, which only leads me to conclude that Kimmel must be feeling embarrassed to know that not only has he been exposed yet again as a buffoon, but that even Mike Pence is better at comedy than he is. Hey, don't forget that Buffoon of the Week is all over social media, so when you're online, make sure you like us on Facebook, you follow us on the Twitters, and go on over to Instagram and like us there too. But the most important thing you have to do is remember to subscribe right here on YouTube. So now that you've met our nominees, it's time to put them through their paces with our trademark pending Sharpton scale of buffoonery. First, we'll measure their buffoonish nature and rank them on a scale from 0 to 100 by comparing them to the only person known to man to have ever scored a perfect 100 on our scale, its namesake, the Reverend Al Sharpton. We'll then measure the buffoonish magnitude of each action on a scale with no upper limit using our custom unit of measurement, the Sharpton. I have a feeling we may see some new benchmarks set with these two buffoons. There is so much going on with Neil Ferguson that the Sharpton scale really felt some strain. First, the obvious hypocrisy. If Ferguson believed that his advice was life-saving, why didn't he follow it himself? Then there's the embarrassment and the fallout of getting caught red-handed with the affair. But there's also the audaciousness of justifying his actions by claiming he believed he was immune. Talk about a god complex. Ferguson's buffoonish nature scores a 70, which would have been higher if he was more widely known here in the US. And the buffoonish magnitude of his actions is a crazy 432.7 gigasharptons. If we hadn't learned late last week that Jimmy Kimmel had deceptively edited his clip of Vice President Pence, or if we would have confirmed that what Kimmel said was actually true, Pence would have been a nominee this week in Kimmel's place. But he isn't because Jimmy Kimmel let his desire to zing the Trump administration overtake any better judgment he may have had. Take it from us, Jimmy. There is enough actual political buffoonery out there to talk about that you don't need to make anything else up. That is, unless you have an agenda, which anyone who has watched Kimmel's late night show knows he clearly has. Kimmel's buffoonish nature earns a score of 77, and his buffoonish action gets 87.2 gigasharptons. Hey, so this week we're doing something pretty cool with our friends at Less Government More Fun. Head over to our Facebook page to find the post about this week's video, and then share it publicly on your Facebook page using the hashtag Buffoon of the Week, and you'll be in the running to win a free t-shirt from Less Government More Fun. These t-shirts are an awesome conversation piece, and they're pretty comfortable too. Say thanks to our friends by visiting the Less Government More Fun swag store, which is linked in the description below. So our work here is done, and your work is just beginning. We've given you 2 very worthy nominees. Time to vote, folks. Who you got for this week's Buffoon of the Week? Tell us right now. Hey, so thanks again for watching the video all the way to the end. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and go over to our Facebook page and enter yourself into the contest to win the free t-shirt from Less Government, More Fun. Just share that post on your page and you'll be in it. Thanks again. See you next week.